Today might again be that day. You wake up feeling off, slightly tense. Everything seems okay, but deep down, you know it's not. Your partner, girlfriend, wife, companion, maybe even just a friend, is cold, distant, withdrawn. Silent again, over some trivial misunderstanding, something minor, inconsequential. And you think to yourself, this is normal, this is just life, right? You've gotten used to it. You've adapted to the discomfort, accepted her mood swings as a standard. You've become comfortable with her complaints, and even worse, your own constant justifications. But what if I told you something revolutionary? You don't need to justify yourself. Ever. Unless, of course, you're genuinely wrong, if you clearly hurt her or broke your own principles. And even then, even at your weakest moment, you can apologize without ever losing your dignity. Because dignity defines a man far more clearly than any mistake he could ever make. Let me stop you right here and ask you to feel this right now. Picture it. That same old moment, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That all too familiar situation when she's tearing into you for something meaningless, something you didn't even do. That moment when your instinct is to shrink, to explain, to defend, to smooth things over. But this time, something is different. You don't justify yourself. You don't explain. You feel the shift in your body. You stand taller, breathe deeper, and own the space. Let that sink in. Let yourself feel that power for just a second longer. Because this is who you really are. There are exactly two responses when someone close tries to manipulate you into feeling guilty. The first is to laugh it off, not cruelly, not dismissively, but confidently, gently teasing, not taking her provocation seriously at all. You're showing her and yourself that these minor manipulative tactics are meaningless to you. They simply don't affect you. You smile, maintaining good humor and positivity, effortlessly rising above pettiness. You're the kind of man who can make a joke out of any tense situation, clearly indicating to her, I see your game, but it's too small for me. And do you know why this works? Because even when she wants to escalate, when she feels the urge to push you further, deep down, she secretly enjoys that you stay light, that you don't give in, that you don't collapse under emotional pressure. She sees that you can stay above the drama, that you refuse to fall into her emotional traps. And this, right here, plants a seed of respect and attraction that words cannot describe. A seed that grows every time you hold your frame. And yet, this is just the first layer. Because sometimes, she'll push harder. Sometimes, she'll cross the line, testing not your humor, but your very identity as a man. This is when you show her your second reaction, the mirror. You give back exactly what she gives you. No more. No less. You reflect her fire right back into her face, calmly, without losing your temper, without raising your voice, without chasing. You let her feel what it's like when someone pushes back. But here's the key. You don't stop there. You lean in just a little closer. You pierce her defenses with your eyes. And in a single moment, you remind her who you are. You let her taste her own medicine. And then, without breaking your calm, you lean back and show her the difference. Because you could go further. You could break her emotionally if you wanted to. You could tear down her little ego, expose every crack in her armor. You know exactly how to push her buttons. But you don't. And you let her feel it. You let her feel that you choose not to. Not because you are weak, not because you're afraid, but because you are the stronger one. because you are above petty power games. And in that moment, she feels small. She feels like a little girl standing in front of a man who cannot be broken. She feels like a little girl who just realized she was trying to play a game far bigger than she could ever control. And do you know what happens next? She stops wanting to win. She stops needing to control. She stops trying to dominate. Instead, she wants to surrender, to fall back into your arms, to reconnect, to let go of the games and the walls. Because suddenly, she feels safe again. Not because you bowed to her mood, but because you stood your ground. Congratulations. Another victory, another emotional imprint, another moment where she feels more drawn to you than ever before. Because she sees you for what you really are. The man she can't manipulate, the man she can't control, the man she can't forget. And that, right there, is the real game. And yes, there is also a third method. Pure, cold indifference. A reaction designed not for those you love, but for people who no longer deserve your emotional energy. That, however, is a lesson for another video. Learn to joke without fear. Learn to stay light, playful, and impossible to offend over small nonsense. Let her feel that you don't take the bait. And when needed, learn to push back, not to destroy her, not to hurt her, but to remind her that you could, if you wanted to, that you're simply choosing not to, because you are bigger than that, because you are stronger than that, because you are wiser than that. And when you do, she'll feel small again. She'll feel like that little girl who secretly admires the man she can't break. That's how you win. Your mood stays high. Your spirit remains untouchable. And she loves you a little more every time. But make no mistake, she'll keep testing you. Because women will always try to pull you under their control. It's in their nature. And the more masterfully you resist, the bigger space you claim in their mind. Because deep down, they crave the man who cannot be owned. The man who stands tall, no matter how hard they push. So don't just listen to this once. Live it. Breathe it. Practice it until it becomes who you are. And when it does, you'll realize you've already won the only game that ever mattered. Why this changes your entire life. These methods aren't just tools to deal with women. They're a philosophy for how you show up in every area of your life. When you stop justifying yourself, you stop seeking permission to exist. You stop explaining who you are to those who don't deserve an explanation. And you start living like a man who stands on his own 2 feet, calm, solid, unshaken. You begin to carry this energy with you everywhere, in your business, in your friendships, in how you carry yourself in the world. And here's the truth. The world bends to men who stand unshaken, not to those who explain themselves. You will notice people responding to you differently. More respect, more attention, more weight to your words. Because the man who never justifies himself commands the room without raising his voice. And listen, I'm not telling you this because I read it in some book. I've lived this. I've failed at this. I've been the man who explained himself into weakness. I've been the one chasing approval. But the day I stopped, the day I chose presence over approval, that's the day everything shifted. This is why I'm here now, speaking directly to you. Because I know how this transformation feels on the inside, not just in theory, but in the real, messy, beautiful world. And you're ready for it. So master these 2 methods. Let them become your breath, your posture, your way of life. And watch how your world changes. And remember, we're just getting started. In the next video, I'll show you how to handle those who no longer deserve your energy at all. The people you don't care to impress, the ones who've lost the right to your emotional presence. That lesson is coming soon. Until then, welcome to the world of the S-rank lover. Never justify yourself again.